Greetings everybody, I'm so excited to be here with you and I want to welcome you today to Ilona Show. And this is me, Ilona, your host. And today we have a special guest and I want to invite the guests who will inspire through their stories and with their stories to you, to the listeners. So you will also, get ignited, get inspired. And we have with us today Kevin, and he's an IT pro. Hi Kevin, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Thank you for having me in this morning.
Absolutely. When I met you, your skills completely took me over. You are so great in what you are doing with the IT, and you also have a creative mind as well. And I would love to talk to you about, how you combine your left brainers, right, these IT skills with the creativity.
Great, yeah. I like to think I'm left-handed, so we live in a right-handed world. Right? Many people don't realize just how much of the world we live in is designed for right-handed people. So as a lefty, I'm convinced that I always have to flex the other side because opening a door, tightening a faucet, anything, it's all geared for right-handed people. And I'm pretty ambidextrous. That flows through into the way that my brain works and thinks. So I have a natural knack for technical things. As a kid, as soon as I could read and talk, I was the one who was opening the instruction manual anytime somebody in the family bought, and either putting it together or telling them what the next step was. So I've always had a knack for that. My father's a math teacher. I think I got some of that from him. And that worked its way up into a degree and a career in IT, where, believe it or not, actually writing software and designing software is creative. It's just in a different way. But this other half of my brain really wanted to be expressive and creative. So through school, I was the AV nerd, but I was also the theater kid. In college, I really wanted to go for a degree in theater. My parents said, yeah, food on the table is a good thing. Do the IT thing and do your theater for fun. So I did. I got a degree in computer science with a minor in math and another one in theater. So post-college, a little improv theater and community theater skills, and I've been doing that ever since.
You did an amazing job here in Minneapolis, and you are impacting the lives of the employees and also your core workers as well. So what would you want to say to the people who are working with let's say right-left, brainers with the left brainers? How can they cohesively work with each other?
Well, that's very interesting. One of the things that I always do when I try to hire somebody who works in my department, I have a department of programmers, and as we go through the interview process, and I'm always looking at all of the technical skills that they list. And it's a lot of acronyms and it's a lot of technical things. And at some point during the interview, I always say to them, well, this on your resume, this is your toolbox. You are not here. I am not hiring you to write software. I am actually hiring you to solve business problems by writing software. And that's a difference, because what we're here to do is work with our counterparts in the business and our counterparts out on other teams to understand what our customers need the software to do and understand that business that we're in, and then work together to figure out which tools in our software development toolbox to use in order to make that work, to solve that problem. So right away, I'm looking for a person who is thinking about the world around them and not just about the lines of code that they're going to write.
That's excellent.
Hopefully that answers your question, but yeah, we have to work together and we have to think about the bigger picture.
Absolutely.
About what we're trying to accomplish.
Yes, like a vision.
A vision,
right. The mission of
right. And that's the style and that I lead my team in, and they seem to really appreciate working together in that way.
You're a very great leader. You know, you're a visionary. You're inspiring somebody else. So if somebody comes to you, for example, or did some mistakes, you always know how to correct them and guide them. And I love that skill about you. This is so fun. But you know, in school, I realized that they encourage actually like 3 R's, like arithmetic, you know, writing and reading. They're not encouraging more like brainers to experience their creativity, and it hurts some of the kids growing up. So how would you want to like address that, or how would you want to how would you change that, I would say?
Well,
what would you change?
I think the challenge of what can be offered within the school environment and the curriculum will always be there. But I do think that there are always opportunities you can look for. Like myself, for example, I am employed by day, you know, designing software and leading a team, right? I architect software, but I like playing with electronics and audio and video things. So I do that on the side. I became involved here at CCX because it was an opportunity to flex those muscles and meet and work with other people and be creative. You can always find a way to be creative. We can be creative in our day job, find ways to be creative, whether it's writing documentation or designing software or creating a little, I have to train my colleagues in what I just did. It could be a boring PowerPoint, or it could be a not so boring PowerPoint, right? Or a live little video snippet. So I always encourage anyone to look for those opportunities wherever. If your day job or your school doesn't provide them, find them yourself. They're there.
I am myself a visionary. I always create the vision, and I want somebody else to execute my vision to the way that I want to see it. But it's very hard for me to maybe sometimes to find myself, because sometimes I dream so big, and sometimes my dreams scare me. and I'm okay with that, because I'm like, oh my gosh, now how can I put my dreams and execute to make it actually reality? So what is your approach to your dreams or to your visions?
Well, one of the natural skills that I tend to leverage for that is I'm a big picture thinker. I can dive into the details when I need to, but I really like to think at the big picture level and how to break up and modularize things. So the first thing I look at with a big dream, after I try and calm my ADHD brain down, is, okay, focus. Now let's take a step back. What are the steps or phases or individual chunks? Because if I can determine a small piece that I can accomplish, then that's more doable, it's more approachable. And I start to think about, well, if I do this and only accomplish this much, maybe it will help me towards my main goal, but it might also help me with other things. Like, this is more generally useful. For example, I just made a purchase on some equipment, and I have 3 different ways I plan to use it. One of which is just to learn it, become an expert. If that's all I manage to do with it, I will have achieved one goal. But after I have, now I can apply using that with my knowledge towards maybe doing work for other people, and then eventually publishing my own content. So that's how I break that up and look for those individual pieces, and then they're accomplishable.
Yeah, you're very organized, and you categorize and also compartmentalize all of your vision into the pieces, so you'll be able to achieve them very easily.
Well, and I think that's where the logical and the technical side can do that analysis. And that's probably a little stronger in me than the pure, unbridled creative side. So now I surround myself with other people here, for example, and people like you, so that I can try and bolster that creative side. That don't think so much, just do.
I am like this. I am bold. If I think how I can like make my dreams come true, I get exhausted. So I have to go for it. To be bold and fierce and unapologetic. So because if I start thinking about how do I get to my dreams, I'm gonna get drained.
Well, but
that's me, the creative side.
But you can always remind yourself, where is the pressure coming from? Is the pressure coming from somebody else, or is it just coming from you? And then give yourself permission to set your own pace. because you don't want it to turn from something you enjoy doing into something that's stressful and miserable because of a pressure that you've created on yourself.
I love what you just said, that you said something that, very unique. And actually, I needed to hear that. Where the pressure coming from? Is from somebody else or from you? Who creates the pressure, right? Do we, usually create the vision and then create the problems and the pressure that we cannot accomplish? So I absolutely love it.
Well, there are always times where, yes, I have to have this done by this date, or those times do exist, but always ask yourself, take a beat, look up and say, where is that pressure coming from? Is it me? What happens if I don't actually get this done by Sunday? Who said I had to have this done by Sunday? Oh, I did. Well, okay. Is it worth the stress? Now, you always want to balance that with being too easy on yourself or you don't get anything done. And for people that are driven like you or me, it's hard sometimes to say, no, it's okay. If that takes a little longer, it's okay. Don't let it be a miserable thing. Even for me mowing the lawn. There is some Zen peace I get just hearing the rumble of the lawnmower. Now, I will admit I sit on a tractor, but you sit on the tractor, and if all I have to do is focus on cutting straight lines so that it makes a nice stripe in my lawn, that's very different than my IT job or anything else. And I cherish those moments to just get in that little zone and not try and get done, right? Just do it.
Just get it done. Yeah, just do it. Get on this, tractor and get it done. So in here, I put your special creature here. I absolutely loved your bike, and when I saw it, I fell in love with it. So tell us a little bit more about your passion of, riding the bike, what it means to you.
Riding the bike. Well, that's very interesting. I didn't know until just a few years ago, when I started riding, that I would actually enjoy it. I used to, and I have a pilot's license, but flying has become difficult and challenging to find the time it seemed for me that with my job that an aircraft was never available when I was rested in right mind, and I don't believe in driving anything, but especially a plane, when you're not well rested and fully there, and or decent weather. I mean, sure, you can fly in crappy weather, but who wants to?
Yes,
right? It's not
exactly,
fun,
no.
especially for passengers. So I wasn't really flying anymore, but I wanted to do something, and I'm like, well, I'm not a water sports person. I don't want a four-wheeler, but I want something. And I thought, oh, you know what? Maybe I'll try a scooter. But I live on a 40-mile-an-hour road, so one of the little scooters, that's not going to cut it, right?
No.
Right? I'm not going to be that person going 25 in a 40-mile-an-hour road. So I got a 125cc scooter, but in Minnesota that requires you to have a motorcycle license. So I'm like, well, okay, fine. So I took the test, and then I took a rider safety course, which I would highly recommend for anybody. They're great. And when I took the course, they said, well, you can use your scooter for the practice part, but we supply motorcycles, and since when you pass, you'll have a license that's valid for a real motorcycle, we suggest you use it so that you're comfortable with it. Well, I took the class and I rode a small motorcycle. I'm like, oh, the scooter is really fun. Don't get me wrong, the scooter is fun, but this is also fun.
This is awesome, yeah.
So a Saturday, Sunday riding. Well, Saturday after class, I rode to a motorcycle shop to start to look at motorcycles, just to see what was out there. And then, yes, I bought my first motorcycle. This is my third, because it did take me a while to figure out what the right kind of style motorcycle for the kind of riding I would do would be. But I was very, very surprised at how much I enjoyed it. And similar to riding the lawnmower, and you can get on and you can get out on the back roads, the country roads, and just be at peace with the world around you. We also then found a riding group. So as a social activity, it's really fun. We go on Sundays and get together with a gang of people and ride along the Mississippi or out or up north. In that group, one year, we spent a week, we rode all the way around Lake Superior. It was amazing.
Oh my gosh, this is
So-
the brave, brave thing. So we want to thank you today, Kevin, for being with us, for sharing your passions, your vision, and also some strategic ways how the left and right brain can work together. And to you guys, if you have a goal, if you have a dream, just go for it. You can overthink it, you can balance it, but this is your dreams. Don't give up on yourself. You can always achieve one. Make sure to surround yourself with the right people, places, and things. God bless you, and we'll see you next time. That was Ilona, your TV host.